I honestly do not know how to begin this video, so I'll begin with this. Kentaro Miura, at the age of 54, passed away on May 6th, 2021 from an acute aortic dissection. My condolences go to Miura's family, his close friends, and kudos to the publishing magazine of Berserk for keeping this information private and secret so that the family of Miura had time to heal. They had a private funeral over there at his home, and yeah, I do not know what to say. Do not expect any fancy editing on this video. I do not want to entertain you with this video, nothing at all. I just want to express my feelings in a way, because I know some of you guys know that if you watch my streams or some of my videos, I always talk about Berserk. Berserk has had a huge impact in my life ever since I began reading Berserk all the way back in 2014-2015, at the time where I began my college student career or something along those lines. I apologize if this video is all over the place. I really have no idea what to say. This is like the 5th time I'm trying to record this video, and the last times I cried, and I don't know, it's silly. I don't really feel the right for, I don't know, feeling this way. It's not like I knew Kentaro Miura personally, of course not. I do not even know how he sounded when he spoke. I just knew he was the author of my absolute favorite story, not manga, favorite story of all time, which is Berserk. I really looked up to Kentaro Miura, not because of how amazingly and astonishing his art was, but because how he was able to convey such a beautiful story and at the same time just having grotesque, bizarre, violence, edgy things in his story. I mean, if you have read Berserk, Berserk is, I mean, that whole stuff of the edgy anime swordsman with a big sword. Gatsu was the one, or Kentaro Miura was the one that began that trend. The original anime boy edgelord with a big sword was and is Gatsu. But anyways, his story, the way he was able to convey such a beautiful story was just out of this world. If you go beyond Berserk, if you go beyond the anime boy with a big sword killing big demons and all that grotesque stuff, because let's be honest, Berserk is a 18+ story. This manga has very, very, very serious gore and tones, and I wouldn't recommend you reading if you were like 12 years old. Of course not. This is a mature story. But if you go beyond that part of the story, like killing demons, etc., Berserk is about love, it's about companionship, it's about friendship, it's about being able to overcome your obstacles, struggling in life. Berserk at its core is a story about life, and so with this video I just want to express how Kentaro Miura throughout and through his storytelling in Berserk changed my life, and dare I say, made me a better man. As I said earlier, I feel silly for feeling this way, but the truth is that with his passing, I mean, when I noticed he passed, I was playing Escape from Tarkov with my friends, and I got tagged on Twitter on a picture, a photo, and I saw the picture of the official statement that Kentaro Miura had passed away from an acute aortic dissection. Honestly, at that point, I felt that a part of myself died or passed. I have no idea. I mean, I know that I didn't know Kentaro Miura, but it feels like I lost one of my best friends. Because, you know, friends impact your life in one way or the other. Maybe they are good influences, maybe they are not good influences, but like it or not, you are the person, your friends or your close friends, the people you have met throughout your life, are what you are or what you become in the future. In a sense, you get the point. I apologize, my English, as you know, I'm Mexican, so I have a hard time trying to convey what I mean. But Miura was like a friend to me because he impacted my life in such a big way. And so I never talk about my personal life in my videos. I like to keep my YouTube life and personal life separate just because I like to do that. There's no special reason behind it. So I've never talked about my struggles in the past few years, etc. Last year, like 5 days before Doom Eternal came out, a game I was waiting so much to play and make content on, my dog passed away suddenly. I didn't know how that happened, and so I had to push myself on creating content that you guys enjoy, even when I was basically devastated because of the pass of my dog. I never talked about that. I just did some Instagram posts, but whatever, I'm not here to talk about me. Back in 2015, long story short, I had a serious, very serious family situation. Right now we are fine, we are completely okay, do not worry, everyone is fine. It was resolved years after. But back in 2014, I had a very serious family matter in which I lost someone very close to me, like very close to me. He didn't pass away, I just like wasn't able to talk to him, her, you know. And so I was really devastated. I didn't like to show, I've never liked to show my emotions, you know. I was not raised, but I've always liked to put like the tough front. I do not want to worry my parents with my depression or all that stuff. I've never went to a psychologist or therapy, so I really do not know if I suffer from depression. But the fact is that at that time I felt like complete shit. I felt really sad. I felt like I really like I was not going to KMS, of course, but I really wanted to like just I didn't want to exist at the time. I've always liked anime and manga, of course. I mean, since I was a little baby, since I was 3, I was watching Dragon Ball, I was watching Inuyasha, I was watching Bleach, Naruto, One Piece, I was watching Death Note, Evangelion. I don't know why did I watch Evangelion when I was a young boy, but whatever. Ever since I was a little boy, I liked anime and manga. And so, actually, the way I got into Berserk was because I was on YouTube, and YouTube recommended me, thank you YouTube recommendations for recommending me that clip, of a little 40-second clip of the Golden Age Part 3 movie of Berserk, at the time where Guts is severing his arm from the demon to go against Griffith. And I was like, oh, this is very hardcore and bloody. I want to see this. I want to, what the hell this is? And so I was like, what's the name of this anime? Oh, it's Berserk, blah blah blah, you should read the manga. So I was like, okay. I have never read manga before. Berserk was my first manga I read. And no, that's not true, I read Tokyo Ghoul first. Well, I began reading Berserk and I was astonished. I was struck. I mean, this was beautiful. I mean, it's everything I wanted. It was a good written story with good art, good action, meaningful plots and themes. I mean, this is what I wanted. And so I literally read Berserk in less than a week. I was all day inside my room just doing homework and reading Berserk at the same time, and in less than a week I got in par with what's happening at the time. I think it was back when Guts finally left the boats and got into Anfelheim. I forgot the name of the island of the fairies. And so yeah, that was my first experience with Berserk, and at the time where that happened with my family, I felt really bad. I felt really sad. I didn't want to exist. I was edgy 24/7, I was irritated, I was mad, I was angry with myself, I was like all of these negative emotions. But you know, stories can impact you. Even if it's anime or manga or comics, never let anyone tell you that this story, you cannot take this story serious because it's a goddamn cartoon or anime. That's fucking stupid. If a story impacts you in any way whatsoever, take it with heart, because if it impacts you, it's because of something happened within the story that you related so much that it changed you. In this case was the character of you know who, Gatsu, Guts, the Black Swordsman. I really related so much to Guts' character and growth. He was scared at the beginning of the story, he got mad, and then he got basically tired. At first, when that family matter happened, I was really scared for this specific person. Then I was mad because I didn't want that person to suffer anymore. And then I was tired for feeling that way. I was for years, for 2 or maybe even 3 years, I felt angry and tired at the same time, because I was tired of feeling like that, honestly. And so, watching Guts' character growth changed me for the better. It doesn't matter what happens in your life. What matters, I don't know if this is like, I'm trying my best to convey a good message, but what matters is to overcome the obstacles that life basically puts at you, and to be the winner. Because you know, if life throws you obstacles and all you do is basically get down in the floor and cry, you are not going to get anywhere in life. That obstacle is but a small pebble. Your goal lies way beyond. I'm sure you're going to walk again. You will walk again. That's one of my favorite quotes from Guts, that line. I'm reading the volume when I'm talking about this. I really do not know what I'm saying anymore. I just do not know how to express myself. But the bottom line is that Berserk, Kentaro Miura, through Berserk, through what he did with that story, changed me for the better. He changed my outlook in life. He made me not hate the situation I was in. He made me strong so that I can struggle and then overcome that obstacle. As I said before, what happened with my family has then been resolved for years. We are all happy right now. Everyone is completely safe. Nothing serious. Everyone is home and dandy. Of course, I didn't do anything to resolve that, but what Kentaro Miura helped me with was to resist the situation I was in, to overcome, to push through, he basically gave me an unbreakable iron will to overcome all the problems that I face. Ever since I read Berserk, ever since I met Kentaro and Guts, every problem that is pushed onto me, I may struggle with it. I'm not going to lie, I struggle with a lot of things, but I always overcome it. I never throw myself in the floor in fetal position and start crying. No. I just want to be like Guts. I dare to say that he is my hero. There, I said it. And I'm being completely serious. Kentaro is my hero. If it wasn't for him, I probably would have turned out a very angry person, full of anger and with a really bad attitude, and no one likes that, of course. That's how Kentaro impacted my life, through Berserk, his beautiful creation. Now, of course, the passing of Kentaro, I cried. I was talking with my friends and I was asking them if it was right for me to feel this way, and they told me that, dude, if that's how you feel, no one can take you from that, of course. But at the same time, I feel bad. It's not like I'm his family. I never knew Kentaro personally. So, yeah, bottom line is I feel sad for his passing. My condolences again to his family. If I could, I'll hug you. I'll hug every one of you. Because, well, yeah, losing a family member is really hard if you haven't. Always cherish, I know this is cliche to say, but always cherish the moment you have with your family, because you never know when someone is going to pass away, of course. And Kentaro's passing has been, it felt like a gut punch. A very, very, very hard and damaging gut punch. I haven't felt this way since a long time. Like, ever since my grandpa passed away, may he rest in peace. Ever since that time where my grandpa passed away, I never felt like that, honestly. It hurts, man, you know? Losing someone you look up to a lot. As you can see, Berserk, beautiful story, man. If you haven't read Berserk, read it. I'm not talking about like the good stuff, like the gore and the action sequences and the epic scenes, whatever. I'm not talking about that. Berserk teaches you so much about life, so many things. I cannot talk about them right now because that will be spoiling the story, and I do not want to spoil this story, specifically this one. I cannot do it. If you want to read Berserk, this is the time to read Berserk. I have 3 favorite mangas or stories of all time. Number 3 is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, amazing story. Number 2 is, surprisingly, Hajime no Ippo, Ippo the boxer. I've always liked boxing. I got into boxing when I was 12 years old, and when I watched Hajime no Ippo for the first time, that really lit a spark on me and made me want to become a boxer. I still want to, but because of the pandemic, I cannot go to the boxing gym and train. So, and yeah, my number 1 manga of all time, of course, is Berserk. But it's funny to see that. It's funny that Hajime no Ippo and Berserk have some things in common. For example, I didn't know about this, I just knew about this today. But George Morikawa, the mangaka and author of Hajime no Ippo, at the time back in the 80s, he had Kentaro Miura be like a sort of assistant for him before they began serializing Hajime no Ippo and Berserk. So both Kentaro and George Morikawa worked together in a sense. Kentaro was 18 and George Morikawa was 19 at the time, and Kentaro helped Morikawa sensei to draw some things about Hajime no Ippo, and that's a fact I never knew, and one that makes me incredibly happy. Having 2 of my favorite stories of all time having this thing in common is really surprising, and I like it. Of course, I am a huge fan of Berserk. I mean, my keys, my girlfriend, which I love so much, gifted me this Dragon Slayer keychain, key thing for my keys, of course. She also gifted me this amazing Berserker Armor Guts figurine, a Figma. Thank you so much. I mean, Berserk is a really big part of my life. And honestly, it saddens me to see Kentaro go out like this. Kentaro Miura, espero y estés bien en el cielo, de verdad. Nunca nos conocimos, jamás, no creo que nos vamos a conocer, pero si pudiera verte ahorita te diría cómo impactaste mi vida de una muy fuerte manera. Me cambiaste para bien. soy el hombre que soy ahorita gracias en cierta parte a Guts y Berserk. Muchas gracias. And so, to end this video, I just want to... There's this panel going around that encompasses this beautifully. He died doing what he wanted, no matter what, right? I bet he was happy. Kentaro Miura, thank you. Rest in peace.